Welcome back to the video, you filthy weebs. Today we're going to be talking about Battlefield. Battlefield to me is a very it's a it's a very complicated relationship, as is with most people recently. Battlefield is real Battle DICE released Battlefield 2042, and it really strained a lot of it really strained our tolerance towards what DICE and EA do. Okay, Battlefield for the most part was free of EA's interactions and their aggressive microtransactions for the most part. However, I think that changed with 2042 because EA wanted DICE to innovate, right? In the beginning, Battlefield 2042 was actually came out with some pretty good metrics, released with an all-time peak of 100,000 people. This is a multiplayer game, so if they play their cards right, they're able to retain a good population of that, right? However, they didn't. Battlefield 2042 did several key changes that pissed off quite a few people. That included reworking the class system, where instead of, classes, you had operatives that had different gadgets and tools, very reminiscent of Call of Duty, right? Um, I think this was pretty blatant uh, on part of EA because in their store they want to sell you skins for these operators to personalize them, right? Make them individual. And I think that took away from the general idea of Battlefield. To me, when you're playing Battlefield, you're just another cog in the war machine, right? The opening to the campaign of Battlefield 1 was a great example of it, where you're playing as a soldier, you're shooting out, a bunch of Germans. They shoot you down, they gun you down, and instead of respawning, you become another soldier. You become another soldier on the battlefield, and then you carry on. You're trying not to die, then you do die, and then you move on to be the next soldier. That's a good feeling, that kind of lets you know that you're in it. That's the grit. Battlefield 2042 had nothing of that. With its tone deaf operators with their cringy voice lines, to just uh everybody looking the same, so people were shooting at friendlies. So it came out with bugs and the general bullshit that comes out with Battlefield games, but it came out with this innovation as well that drove a lot of players away. And very quickly there were even times where the player base dipped super low. Super low. At one point, nah, it's not zero. It glitched out there. At one point, there were only a couple thousand people playing, like 5,000 people here at one point. That is a disgrace of a game. Okay, when you compare it to Battlefield 1, uh, it's been maintaining low. It's been maintaining its level of players actually not half bad, and this game released years ago. It's insane. Okay, Battlefield has obviously gotten better after, but that's obviously what happens with Battlefield games. Battlefield games have a 2-year cycle instead of Call of Duty's 1-year cycle, because Battlefield uses that first year mostly to fix bugs, patch out glitches, okay? That's what the first year is dedicated towards, especially in this game. Because in 2042, the first year's content was dry, okay? Death Valley probably had more content, more rain than this game did, okay? It's insane. Um, but regardless, they spent the first year patching bugs. Now, a year later, this game is finally where it needed to be for release. Now they're getting some content. Now they're finally able to get some actual content, and that's when the positive reviews are starting to come in, because now they're actually adding things that they had planned. which is absolutely inexcusable because people paid, people paid money to pay the full experience, and you didn't get the full experience until a year later, right? I feel extremely sorry for anybody that pre-ordered this. Um, I'm lucky I didn't. I'm lucky I didn't buy this on day one. I'm lucky I waited for reviews and I waited to see what kind of mess this was going to get itself into. So it's a big shame. Do I think Battlefield is over? Absolutely not. I think Battlefield's next game might be good. They need to tap into the community's good graces. Maybe even remake like Battlefield Bad Company. Go back to one of those older games. I'm not sure, but they need to do something different because this is modern combat, something people have been wanting for a while, and they absolutely botched it. Now, the other thing with Battlefield that really does not cultivate any type of positive feelings for them is that this EA and DICE, or mostly EA, they are quick to cut game support if the game has not been doing well. Battlefield 5 got cut pretty abruptly after the Pacific, after Iwo Jima and all that. It got cut pretty abruptly. They cut support for Battlefront 2. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were to cut support for this game tomorrow. The company, EA and DICE, have said that they're going to be supporting this game even after the 2-year mark. However, they haven't said what exactly they're going to be adding into the game. So that leads me to believe that they're keeping the exit door open in case they want to leave. Regardless of whatever promises they've made, I'm certain if it's a lost cause and they're not seeing any profit, they're going to move on because they're a company. I have no loyalties towards DICE. I think DICE has done a lot of mistakes, and I think whatever they're doing now is a huge mistake. Obviously, they're correcting ship. They are moving back towards the classic class system and moving away from operators. But the damage has been done, and I'm not sure who did that, or if DICE just hemorrhaged talent, or for whatever reason, something needs to get done. Battlefield, the game after Battlefield, might bring people back to the series. However, as it stands, this is a waste of time, waste of money. I mean, the game right now, as it stands in December, is 67% off. It's $20. I think that's a waste of money. I think I'd rather spend $20 light $20 on fire than have to sit through this, because God forbid, they're still fixing it. So it's a shame. It's a real shame. I think Battlefield still has potential to come back, still has the potential to provide a really good game to the community. However, as it stands, they've literally spat on us, and I'm not sure whether or not they're going to come back for the next game. I'm hoping to God people don't pre-order the next Battlefield and they wait till reviews are set out, so we actually have an idea of what we're gonna get. Because if it's something like this again, unfortunately, I think DICE is gonna join the graveyard that EA undertakes. It's one of those things. Alright, well, that's been the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, leave a dislike. But if you did, like it, comment, all that good stuff. Catch you guys in the next one.